Yona of the Dawn, or Akatsuki no Yona, is an excellent 2015 anime series from Studio Pierrot, which seems to have received startlingly little attention considering its actual quality. The story follows Yona, a pampered princess living out an idyllic existence under the watchful eye of her overprotective pacifist father, King Il. Everything comes crashing down when her father is killed, her kingdom is ransacked, and she's pretty much chased away from her life. Just when it seems that all hope is lost, Yona discovers that she plays a crucial role in ancient prophecy. Now that she's the only living member of the royal family, she holds the power of 4 sexy boys with the magical blood of dragons. Ultimately, Yona plots to slowly build up her rebellion from behind the scenes and take back her life and kingdom, with the help of her one-man army / boyfriend Haku and all sorts of cool new allies. Ostensibly, Yona is a high fantasy adventure series, but upon further inspection, the show is very clearly framed around the illustrious coming-of-age motif, and all of the primary story beats are punctuated by Yona's slow and steady growth as a leader and a person. Medium-sized spoilers for the show, by the way. Go watch it, it's great. When we first meet Yona, she's entitled, conceited, and kinda bratty, with no real understanding or interest in the world outside of her castle walls, and when tragedy strikes, all she can really do is cry. The man who she's loved for the better part of a decade and defined herself by that love has revealed himself to be a treacherous despot, and everything she's ever valued is swiftly taken from her. Her only real game plan is to lean back on the people around her and hope that their power is enough to keep her alive. She's literally stripped of her identity for the sake of her protection and starts to lose grasp on who she really is and what role she has to play. It isn't until she spends time with a group of villagers whose fates are directly affected by her actions does Yona develop a sense of responsibility for the people around her, and a strong desire to protect, giving her the drive she needs to set out on her epic quest and rally her Bishonen army. One haircut later, which is like the universal symbol for growth and change, and Yona's ready to begin her personal journey. But even as she becomes more knowledgeable and starts taking bigger risks, Yona still struggles massively establishing her own sense of self. She strives to become a strong person without really understanding what it means to be strong. She starts taking up weapons and actually gets pretty decent, well aware of the fact that it will break her dad's heart if he knew what she was doing. She even comes across some of the more lower class poverty-stricken corners of her country that she didn't even know existed. People that see her father as a cowardly fool that had no business ruling a kingdom and have suffered the brunt of his bad decisions, and she just doesn't know how to feel about any of it. What Yona's really feeling here is an incredible amount of guilt for her own perceived ignorance and naivety, because ignorance hurts everyone. Slowly but surely, Yona begins to find her footing, and each one of the descendants of the 4 legendary dragons, all of whom have awesome superpowers by the way, teach her something new about herself and her role as a leader. All 4 of them are psychologically predisposed to serving her, so in theory, Yona could have just stormed every village guns a-blazing and forced each dragon boy to do her bidding, but instead she humbles herself and simply asks that each dragon lend her their power, like they're doing her some kind of favor or something. I mean, it's their kingdom too. The white dragon was raised in a secluded village by a tribe that worships him like a god, and is immediately taken aback by Yona as the first person he's ever met who doesn't feel the need to posture in front of him. She instead wins him over with her modesty and sincerity, and he quickly dedicates himself to her with an almost knight-like deference. The blue dragon has been herded into confinement and isolation from a young age due to his dangerous and unstable powers, naturally making him very reserved and distrustful. His tribe has taught him to view his abilities like some kind of curse, but Yona manages to see the light behind his intimidating exterior, showcasing a level of empathy that he's never experienced. Yona exemplifies everything it means to be a good leader, earning the respect and loyalty of her comrades not by forcing them to work beneath her, but inspiring them to stand with her through her goodness of person. The green dragon, for example, prides himself on making his own decisions and living for no one but himself, so Yona has to jump through quite a few hoops to earn his favor. One of the big running gags throughout the series is how surprised and amused everyone seems to be that the latest incarnation of the mighty King Hiryu is a cute, demure teenage girl. And for as much progress as she makes over the course of the show, Yona does remain for all intents and purposes a cute, demure teenage girl. She'll still get all doughy-eyed thinking about her family, or break down in tears when the tension gets too high, but that ability to keep moving forward even when you're on the verge of tears, the tenacity to get up no matter how many times you've been knocked down, that's what true strength is, and it's ultimately what earns Yona the admiration and loyalty of her peers. Not that she doesn't also know when a dude really needs an arrow in his back. In a lot of ways, Yona represents the best of both worlds as a leader, having both the agency and conviction of Suwon, but also the empathy and love of King Il. She even improves upon them by acknowledging that sometimes being a leader can be about more than just making the big decisions or slaying the right adversaries. You can oftentimes do the most good by just being active in your community and taking an interest in your people and their causes. Throughout her travels, Yona makes all sorts of new friends, like this cool old pirate lady who becomes her first older female role model. Watching her break down in tears when she's forced to part ways with her new surrogate mother is very sweet and definitely one of the emotional highlights of the show. It's hard for me to put my finger on just what this show is doing so right, but this is exactly the kind of character development I want to see more of in anime. No matter what epic events transpiring on screen at any given moment, it's the thoughts and feelings of the characters that hog the limelight, and with characters this interesting and well-rounded, that's exactly how it should be. We legitimately watch this girl grow up as a result of her experiences and relationships, and it creates a real feeling of attachment between the character and the audience that I don't think could have been achieved otherwise. Was there anything I really disliked about this series? Not really. I love all of the characters, I love their unique and dynamic relationships, I love the almost but not quite Korean setting, I love the melodramatic undertones, I love the surprisingly excellent action scenes and fight direction. The whole thing was pretty much fantastic across the board. There's just one problem, really. It's not freaking finished. Good god, I can't tell you how sick I am of shows that just stop without any meaningful closure, especially in shows like this where the entire appeal is the big narrative build-up. I don't see a season 2, do you? You think The Last Airbender would still be regarded as a masterpiece if it just ended after book 1? In fact, you don't even need to think about that, because we all know the answer is no. The politics of marketing shouldn't be having this critical of an effect on storytelling in anime. No more excuses, Japan. Get your shit together and finish your goddamn shows. Other than that, it was pretty good.